So away we go on match day 3 of the CAF Champions League 2024-25 edition. Esperance in their traditional red and gold. The black shorts shooting from left to right as we watch on. In this first 45, Pyramids in blue and white. An immediate chance, or perhaps not, for the home side. Offside flag out of shot, but presumably up against Yusuf Belaili. Flicked on cleverly by Rodriguez. Had his arms aloft. It was a fairly tight call for the linesman early on. Horrible collision. Hear the roar of agony from Husam Takar. No touch, I think, came the call from the sidelines. There was certainly a collision. Maybe Takar making the most of it. He's back on his feet and we are back underway. Vishniba sends it long towards Takar. Here he is, looking no the worse for wear for that collision. And putting a dangerous ball into the box, which was well claimed by Ahmed El Shenawi. Slipped as he put the ball in, but almost added to the curl. Now making the run into the 6-yard line that he was hoping for. An early statement of intent from Esperance. Will look to stamp their authority on proceedings early doors, if they can. Far more experienced side in general, but certainly in this competition. Became just the 4th club to win back-to-back CAF Champions League titles as they picked up their 3rd and 4th trophies in 2018 and 2019. The latter in very controversial circumstances. Back at a time where the final was played over 2 legs after a 1-1 draw in the first leg. Esperance were 1-0 up in the 59th minute of the second leg when Walid El Kati scored a goal for Wydad, subsequently ruled offside by the linesman. Failure at the VAR system and a review of the decision couldn't be conducted, with Wydad insistent the goal was valid. They protested. Match was interrupted for over an hour. Wydad refusing to resume play. Referee eventually ruled the match as a forfeit and awarded the win and the title to Esperance. However, CAF later ruled the second leg had to be replayed, only for that decision to be thrown out by the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS as they're known, who told CAF to refer it to its disciplinary structures for a decision. Eventually, Esperance were declared the winners for a second time, for a 4th time ever. They'd love to win it on the pitch. This time round, they've come close since then, but not lifted the trophy. The 2 previous wins have come in 2011 and 94. They've also been runners-up on 5 occasions: 99, 2000, 2010, 2012, and earlier this year at the most recent edition, losing the final to the mighty Al Ahly. Getting closer and closer. 2022 knocked out in the quarterfinals by ES Setif. It was the semis in 2023 and then the final this summer. Al-Ahly with a single goal early in the second leg. The unfortunate Roger Aulu, who is on the pitch again today with an own goal. Follow along with the hashtag Total Energies CAFCL. Have your say on the most recent edition. The new tales being told. By the clubs in this very special competition. Right, Boujniba getting well forwards from right back. Was left by Abdurrahman Konate. Ramadan Sobhi can't find a way out, and then eventually free kick given away by Walid El Kati. Aforementioned disallowed goal, then playing for Wydad, now with Pyramids. Plenty of experience in this Pyramid side, young club though they are. Were officially formed a little over 5 years ago. However, despite that short history, and despite competing in a continental tournament for the first time in 2019 to 2020, they managed to reach the final of the CAF Confederation Cup, starting the competition in its preliminary rounds, going all the way through, beating Étoile du Congo, Belouizdad, Young Africans. In the qualifiers, they went on to top their group. Won all bar one of their games, quarter-final. Won 3-1 against Zanaco. Then Haroya in the semi. In the final, lost to RS Berkane. Nonetheless, amazing showing. First ever continental campaign. Qualified for the Confederation Cup again the following 3 years. Reached the knockouts every time. Knocked out a little earlier in 2021, again by Moroccan competition in Raja Casablanca. Beaten on penalties in the semi-final. In 22, it was TP Mazembe in the quarters. Then Marumo Gallants again in the quarters in 2023. Last year, finally competed in the Champions League for the very first time after a second place finish in 2023 in the league. Finished bottom of their group, but did pick up a respectable 5 points. Actually started with a win against the five-time winners TP Mazembe, getting their own back for that quarter-final exit a couple of years before. And it was a tough group with Mazembe and Sundowns. Very respectable record against the mighty Sundowns, the first ever African Football League winners, of course. A 0-0 draw and a 1-0 loss. Showing they belonged at this level. They'll try and show that again here this evening. So far, almost 10 minutes in, certainly holding their own after that one early scare for Esperance. Will there be another scare incoming here? Belaili will run at the defence, gets his shot away. It had to be parried round the far post by El Shenawi. Not the cleanest strike of Belaili's career, but it was still problematic. I think El Shenawi a little unsighted, coming through a series of bodies through the legs. Indeed, of Ali Gaber, the captain, rather. Had to get down and palming it wide of his left-hand post. Now with a corner to defend. The young right back, Raid Bouchnipa, will take. Only found the head of Mohamed Hamdi. Whipped in by Elias Mokwana. Again though, El Shanari is there. You just look to slow things down a touch. Whistles grow from the home fans. Doing their best to act as the 12th man against their fellow North African side. Whistles will grow in intensity as long as Pyramids have the ball. Home fans will be wary of their visitors playing for time, even at this early stage. Esperance certainly the favourites. Yeah, reigning silver medalists on home soil. Second seeds in the tournament. Pyramids level with them currently, but Esperance certainly the favourites coming into this one. They are Tunisia's most successful club. Domestically won an astonishing 33 Tunisian Professionnel League titles. 15 Tunisian Cups and 6 Super Cups, all of which are national records. Claims 6 in a row between 17 and 22. Not 2023, as they were beaten to the title by Étoile du Sahel, falling one shy of their record of 7 in a row across the late 90s and early 2000s, but bounced back and reclaimed the title last campaign. Belaili offside, frustrated. I think the ball didn't come earlier. Indeed, was the correct decision. If the ball had been played a little earlier, he would have been in his own half, and there would have been no question of an offside. Lost just once last season. Esperance finished the playoff 8 points clear of US Monastir in second. Currently though, only 5th. His current campaign. Though just 2 points back from leaders Stade Tunisien after 10 games. Now though focused on continental matters and defending this Pyramids attack. Mohamed Lashin's ball in, headed away. Can now be brought away by Aoulou. Sent long. And that was Elias Mokwana trying to burst into the box. Didn't quite find its way through to him. South African signed from Sekhukhune United this summer. Now back defending. Looking for Mohamed Shibi, right back, well up the pitch. And that pass from Konate comes back off his own man. Will be a Pyramids throw. Just 18 years of age, Abdurrahman Konate, the Ivorian. They've been a regular in this tournament. Joined most appearances of anyone in the starting 11. Sobi in a battle over on the right wing. Not best pleased with the assistant's decision. Maybe wanted a free kick, or claiming that the final touch came off an Esperance player, but it will be a throw for the home side. Comes straight back at the Esperance defence. Down goes Ben Hamida. Referee waves play on. And it's Esperance breaking away. Makwana running the line. Belaili frustrated with himself, I think, this time. Aolu with the reverse pass. Makwana gives it away. Quarter of an hour, and still on level terms. Game does feel in the balance. The masked marauder at the back, Ahmed Sami, to take the free kick. % of the possession so far, the away side. Surprisingly more of the ball. No shots as yet. 2, and 1 of which was on target so far for Esperance. Tugai brings it forwards. Ben Hamida to whip it in. Found the head of Belaili, whose shot is blocked on the spin. Tugai back to tidy up. That's carelessly given away by Bushniba. Mayele. Nicely worked out to Ramadan Sobi. Tried to complete the 1-2 effectively, albeit a very slowly put together 1-2. Pyramids still with the ball though, on the edge of the Esperance third. Mayele, strength as ever, but goes down, doesn't win the free kick. Quickly one back, here's Sobi. Knocks it onto El Kati. Shibu will keep it in. Has time to pick out his delivery. It was a dangerous one. Headed behind by Mohamed Tugai for a Pyramids corner. Young Amanala Memish organises his defence. Just 20 years of age, the keeper. Calm as you like though, as the ball bounced back to him. Part of the team that got to the final last season, Memish established himself as first choice, even at the tender age of 20, particularly young in goalkeeping terms. Came through the youth system of Esperance and only made his first appearance in June last year. his Tunisia debut in September. Of the AFCON qualifiers. Kept a clean sheet. Very promising young keeper for Tunisia and Esperance. Born right here in Tunis. Will he be called into action again here? Maeli has it in the corner flag. This time though, won't get the corner. Goal kick. So, called into action in one sense, but not a dangerous one. Looking for the corner, but just missing the boot of Tugay. Maeli. Defending from the front, Usam Takar and the block, and indeed this I do then win possession. Good strength from Aulu. Konate left all the way out to Belayeli and Ben Hamida. Miscommunication though, or a misplaced pass, either way, an error. Regekampf watches on, 49-year-old Romanian former midfielder in his playing days. Just the one cap for his country in 2003. Played a few years with Steaua Bucharest and then the rest of his career in Germany. We got an extensive CV on his managerial career though. Played all over. Was a few clubs in his native Romania, fair few indeed, and Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia, to Bulgaria as well, before returning to the Gulf states with Emirati clubs, Al Wada, Al Wasl, the other Al Ahly in Saudi Arabia. Briefly returned to Romania before one final stint at Altay in Saudi Arabia and then on to Esperance earlier this year. Not much earlier this year. It was in fact start of November. Signed a deal that made him the highest paid coach in Tunisian football. His side are gelling though, whatever the cost. Trying to turn the screw here. And to be wary of the counter-attack from Pyramids though. Here's one. Ramadan Sobi's pass though was under-hit. Still got to play it down for Esperance. The referee stopping play to check on him, and that's not best pleased fans nor players. It's Aulu who's down. I think the home players and fans feel you let play continue when we were having to defend without Aulu, but once on the attack, suddenly you bring play to a halt. Or was it a case of offside? Either way. Aulu still down. Being checked over. The man with the dubious honour of the only goal of the most recent Champions League final. Unfortunately, at the wrong end. Togolese back on his feet. Bit of a wince and a grimace. Heading over to the sidelines and see if he's able to continue. Get back underway with Pyramids. Ahmed Sami with the ball. Walid Al-Kati dinks it forward to Maeli. Beautifully laid off by the number 9. Teed up for Ramadan Sobi. Didn't quite get his feet sorted before connecting with the ball. Well, Aulu's come back on, but returned to the turf again. I think, unfortunately, that might be the end of his game. Not sure exactly of the issue, but a change will be required. And there is one warming up, albeit rather rapidly. No time for a warm-up. Just about time to get changed. Not the way Roger Aulu would have hoped his evening would have come to an end. Looks a fairly innocuous collision. Leading arm of the Pyramids player into his neck. Seems to have done some damage though. Aulu straight off down the tunnel, unfortunately. Just can't be too cautious with head injuries. And there is the opportunity, or the possibility, rather, of a pink card being shown. New rule for this year in world football indicates there will be a substitution due to a possible concussion. It's not a card used by the referees, but the teams to alert the fourth official. They'll be substituting a player due to a head trauma. Allows the teams to make a change without affecting their 5 authorised subs per game. Both they and the opposition given an extra substitution. No pink card this time, as far as I can see. First ever pink card used at the Copa America, game between Brazil and Costa Rica. Just a regular substitution though. On this occasion it sees Onuchi Ogbelu come on. Nigerian 21-year-old central midfielder, straight swap with Aulu. Maele nearly in on goal. Crucial tackle from Hamza Jalasi. Had to be right. It was, at least in the eyes of the referee. Fiston Maele's asking the question and limping back towards the halfway line. That's the first involvement for Ogbelu. Wins a free kick, caught by Ibrahim Adel. Adel, one of the top scorers in the competition, after that brace on match day 1. Nicely worked forwards by Esperance. Makwana still going. Belaili trying to curl it in towards Rodriguez. Pick it up though. Now here's Ogbalu. Pyramids pinned back a touch at the moment. Pushniba quickly wins it back. Half an hour gone now. First goal will be hugely important. Ben Hamida. That's, again, lovely passing move. This time it does reach Rodriguez. Trying to tee it up, lay it off for Usam Takar, but ultimately it's cleared away and all the way back to Mamish. Esperance will start again. It's Belaili. Now Konate. Back to Yusuf Belaili. Wants options. Looks to dink it in towards Rodriguez. Mayele goes down, wins a free kick. A useful one as well for Pyramids. Certainly made the most of the contact with Jalassi. Allows Pyramids to clear their lines, gain back some territory, move up the pitch. Fati keeps it in, tries to create the space to get away his cross. He did so. It was two guy in the way. Down to Jalassi. In fact, got there first. Two guy moving in to fill the space vacated by his captain. Ben Hamida out of position. Goes the home side's way. Protests from the Pyramids players. Ogbalu this time goes down, doesn't though get the decision. Smart back heel as Pyramids try to play it out from the back. Hamdi to Sami. Sami went down. He does get the free kick up against Elias Makwana. And Cruyff turn. Not bad for a centre-back. Must be the mask. More traditional bit of centre-back play. Sending it long. Remain with the visitors for long though. Now 33 league titles for the hosts. For their visitors, none as yet. Never lifted the Egyptian Premier League. Have been getting closer in recent years though. Entering the Pyramids FC era, 2018. Finished third 3 times in a row and then second in the last 3 years. Impressively breaking into the dominant pairing, formerly consistent top 2 of Al Ahly and Zamalek. They were second to the former last season, 6 points back, but 23 clear of Zamalek in third. So something unwanted, these two have in common, coming up second best to the mighty Al Ahly. It also finished as runners-up in the Egypt Cup in 2019 and 22, and 2023 Super Cup. Getting a reputation for being always the bridesmaid, but finally caught the metaphorical bouquet last season, lifted their first trophy after winning the 2024 Egypt Cup. They're up against it here though, and Esperance have the lead. Fired high into the net, beyond Ahmed El Shenawi. And they're bouncing in the stands now. Bit of luck there in that coming together. Belaili just kept going, and then fired it past El Shenawi. 5 goals in the qualifiers. That is first in the tournament proper. Not bad going. I believe the official top scoring charts don't include the qualifiers, but he'll claim 6 for sure. Frustration for Jurcic. Belaili able to almost walk through the Pyramids' defence. Opened up for him. He took full advantage. Algerian, who played a decent chunk of his career in France. Back in the north of Africa now, having departed MC Alger. A few appearances for Esperance. He has been flying though in his new home. Scared to bring him down. Ahmed Sami didn't get a challenge in. El Ghati was the wrong side of him. El Shenawi could only watch as it flew past his left glove. Fifth top scorer in last season's Algerian Liga with 11 goals. Whipped in to a dangerous area by Mohamed Shibi. Ogbelu and Tugai rather getting in each other's way, but it's worked out. Belaili's there again, inside to Kanate. Back to the goal scorer. Those two combining, but in no real rush. Pretty even Stevens in terms of the big stats. Esperance now edging the possession, so too the shots and attempts on target. Pyramids have largely been holding their own, but if they were to concede a second here before half-time, they'd really be up against it in the second 45. Shibi doing well to shepherd that one out. The close attentions of the Esperance captain, Ben Hamida. Headed away by Tugay just over the head of Maele. Let's correct myself, Belaili was actually joint top scorer in the Algerian Liga, 14 goals. Enjoyed his time back in his home country. 14 goals in 21 appearances. To having left Ajaccio, Brest before that. Brest now flying high in the Champions League in Europe. Their first ever European competition. Exceeding all expectations. One of their former heroes, a former Pirate, as they're known, flourishing in the CAF Champions League. And setting Esperance on their way here. Maele just the wrong side of the offside line. A little too far for Belaili. Knows this area well. This is, of course, his third stint with Esperance, also 2012 to 14, 18 to 19. Nasty collision. And the first booking. Ramadan Sobi with plenty to say. Pyramids players really getting in the face of the referee. Sobi is furious. There's a wry smile from the referee. Still down, Hamza Jalassi. Battling first with Tugay Fiston Maele, and then coming in with his studs raised. Jalassi and the magic spray, still looking in some pain. Maele will have to be cautious in the second half now on a yellow. Wonder if there are a few more names being noted down there in the book for the reaction. Certainly got a boot to the ball as well. That first angle looked far worse than the second. Jalassi seems to be moving fine now. Into the final minute of the first 45. Kanate and Makwana combining, but rather getting in each other's way, I think. Shniba shields it out under the attention of Adel. It's a bit of needle creeping in the latter stages of the first half. Such an important game, they both know it. There's advantage, Esperance. Agitated. Branislav Juricic on the way to the touchline. Makwana on their way to the Pyramids area again. South African winger just sending the ball a little too far right in the end. 2 minutes of stoppage time to be played. Maybe time for one chance. Last touch of Ibrahim Adel. Nice ball forwards to Ogbalu, who's done well to find his way past no fewer than 3 blue shirts there before hitting the deck. Esperance will not be in too much of a hurry to get forwards. They'd probably quite like to ensure the final kick of the first half is one of theirs in the direction of the Pyramids goal. No danger of a counter if so, but have lost possession, albeit with only 15 seconds remaining. Wiley with the flick on, and it's tidied up by Ogbalu, who's blocked off, no uncertain terms, by Mohamed Shibi. Referee allows play to continue. 2 minutes is up. It's 1, and looks like the referee's going to allow this counter to play on, despite Esperance still having a player down, and it was Sobi. The misplaced pass, and now suddenly down the other end it's Rodriguez in on goal, saved by El Shenawi. The rebound is fired high into the net by Elias Mokwana. There was time for one kick in the direction of the Pyramids goal. It wasn't just in the direction of it, it was into it. They get their wish. Their last kick of the first half makes it 2-0. It looked like Pyramids were going to have the chance of the breakaway in the dying seconds. Jurcic is furious, and you say that there's a question of offside there. It was Mokwana himself, who I think was in an offside position. The call for Rodriguez, who actually received the ball, would have been tighter. I'd have to see that again, as Ali Gaber was getting back. Full credit to Mokwana to divert that home on the bounce, on his left foot. Jumping for joy as he headed for the Esperance fans. Pyramids now with it all to do in the second half. The referee gets us back underway for the second 45. Esperance 2-0 up at home on match day 3 against Pyramids. Belaili, 5 goals in the qualifiers. His first of the tournament proper. To get us underway, and the deadlock broken after a bit of a standoff at times in the first half, but largely entertaining. 45 minutes of football. Really opened up after that first goal in the last 10 minutes or so before the break. Pyramids looking like they might be about to get a controversial counter-attack with a Esperance player down on the turf. Referee allowing play to continue, but in the end, Esperance winning it back, going on and scoring themselves. No signs of it being a permanent issue. I think the 11 who headed down the tunnel for Esperance are back on the pitch. They are Of course, one man light from their starting 11. Roger Aolu forced off about 3/4 of the way through the first half, replaced by Onuchi Ogbelu, young Nigerian. Joining a pretty multicultural attacking half of the pitch for Esperance. As mentioned, the Brazilian leading the line. Behind him, Konate is Ivorian, Makwana and Belaili, the goal scorers, South African and Algerian. Ogbelu, Nigerian, and Usam Tkar, the only Tunisian in the Tunisian side's attacking half of the pitch. Walid El Kati slowly picks himself up after having won a free kick. Promising position. It would be an optimistic shot if one came in from here. And it can't be ruled out by Amnala Memish. Instead it is dinked in towards the far post. Ahmed Sami was there, trying to send it back across the 6-yard box. Danger, though, cleared by Esperance all the way back to El Shanawi for Pyramids to start from the back once again. Belaili giving away the free kick on the opposite wing. Started the second half on the right-hand side, having spent pretty much the entirety of the first half on the left. Then Hamida can't prevent the corner. Combination of himself and Jalassi. And Esperance just up against it a touch. Here in 5 minutes of the second half. Really won't want to see their lead cut in two. Whipped in. It was fired across the penalty area by Lachine, I think it was. Sobi can't get it under control and sent well long in the end. Some confusion as to whose throw that was. Indeed, it was a Pyramids throw. I think it's a surprise of both players, or both sets of players. Not too many complaints though, even from the easily angered home fans. Well, if not angered, very willing to let the opposition know what they think of them, or the referee what they think of his decisions if they aren't going the way of Esperance. Adel's attempt to slide it through to Mayele doesn't come off. Tugai, as reliable as ever at the back, scored the winning penalty at the other end as well in the quarter-final last year, and the shootout after a 0-0 and both legs against ASEC Mimosas. Mamish quickly off his line. Referee trying to ensure that is taken in the right spot. Maele was offside, regardless of the goalkeeping heroics of Mamish. I think it'll be now Esperance who look to kill off a little time wherever possible. Reminder of the hashtag Total Energies CAFCL. You want to get involved in the online conversation as Maele nearly gets on the end of a pass into the box again. That combination between himself and Ibrahim Adel looks the most likely source of decent chances in this second half. Lovely flick there from Mohamed Shibi under pressure. Pyramids passing it right and left, struggling to find their way through what is a fairly low block currently in operation by Esperance. Both managers right on the edge of their technical area. Adel cutting back and looking for the run of Hamdi. Hamdi's then beaten to the loose ball by Ogbelu. Esperance haven't spent much of the opening minutes of the second half, though, in the opposition's half. This time, Hamdi comes out on top in another battle with Ogbelu. Momentum which swung back and forth in the first half has been almost entirely with Pyramids since the restart. It's not having too much of an effect on the atmosphere, though. Still bouncing in the stands. Home fans making all the noise. See if that's still the case in a few seconds' time. That's whipped in by Shibi. It's going to drop onto the roof of the net. There'll be another opportunity, though, from a set piece. Corner on the right-hand side for Pyramids. Shibi there again to offer the outswinger. It looks like it will be the in-swinger, though. It was. It swung in only, though, towards the head of Hamza Jalassi. Nice ball forwards from Belaili, nearly brought down by Makwana. Two goal scorers combining. It will take just one moment of brilliance from Esperance, of which they're certainly capable, to all but kill this particular game off as a contest. There is a rematch to come on the other side of the festive season. We'll meet again in Cairo for the Pyramids home game on match day 4 here in Tunis. Belaili going down, a somewhat optimistic glance at the referee. I don't think he ever really expected the whistle to blow. And now a little more space here for Pyramids to operate in the final third. Adele looking to get his shot away. Yeah, ultimately, though, gives away a free kick instead. Barging over. Abdurrahmane Konate, one of the few players on the pitch younger than him. There was the half penalty shout, let's say. Belaili going down at pace, but not a huge amount of contact. Amanala Mamish is the latest down as Konate gets back to his feet. Laurentiou Regekamp watching on as Ali Gabe comes to inquire as to the welfare of the opponent's goalkeeper. Perhaps insinuating that Mamish is looking to kill off a few seconds here. The referee making it clear that he's going to add anything on at the end that is wasted here. More than half an hour to go. There's a lot of time to potentially be wasted. Now, a free kick for Esperance. Riyad Bushnuba to take. All the players lined up along the edge of the area. It's floated into the right kind of area, close to Ogbelu. It was, I think, Gaber, though, got his head to the ball, ahead of the young Nigerian. Either way, Pyramids get a free kick in the end. What can they do with the ball, though? That is the question. Had more of the possession for most of the first half, until ended up almost exactly 50-50 when the whistle blew for half-time. Too much of it, though, in their own half. That's certainly in the opposition half. Sent long towards Maele, but a tangle of feet ends up in an Esperance free kick. Jalazi going down, having his heels clipped by the Congolese number 9. Konate. Brilliantly flicked up by Belaili over the in-sliding Shibi. Belaili claiming a free kick there. Didn't get the decision, but one of his teammates will. Ramadan Sobi deemed to have barged over an opposition player. Goes into the middle towards Konate from Ogbelu. As you saw there, the stats reflecting Pyramids' increased involvement in the second half, increased time on the ball. Esperance, with their little possession they've had since the restart though, still looking threatening. I think it's fair to say that Esperance aren't in a particular hurry to take any set pieces as we enter the final half an hour of this game. Belaili will do so now. He was aiming for Tugai. It's Maele who stayed down. Also off the ball, Husam Takar down again as he was after a collision with Maele early in the game. Helped back to his feet by Mohamed Hamdi. Tugai maybe actually catching Maele with his knee there. The centre forward will soldier on. Crossfield ball comes up short. Belaili forward to Rodriguez, who knocked it on. Kanate to chase. But El Shanawi won the race. Adel turns away from one, but runs into trouble. And the space ahead of Belaili. Beautifully weighted ball forwards for Rodriguez. Saved by El Shanawi, keeping his side in it. It's the Brazilian. It's perfectly picked out by the Algerian goal scorer. Lovely Trivela. Narrowed the angle, was always going to be the case. Being tracked by Ahmed Sami. El Shanawi still, though, positioned himself well. How to do so again with this corner. Belaili whips it in. Looked like it might drop for Tugai again, just over his head. Kanate sent it back out to Belaili. One-two with Ogbelu, then again with Kanate. Got his shot all wrong in the end. Another display of the brilliance that Youssef Belaili can produce. That's why he's got over 50 appearances for Algeria. 9 goals as well for his country. Was African Interclub Player of the Year in 2019. Also the silver ball at the Arab Cup in 2021. And won the AFCON, part of that Algeria squad in 2019. Fair list of honours on his palmarès, as they call them around these parts. Rodriguez lays it off to Ogbelu. Thinks about shooting from range, did so, but didn't come near to troubling El Shanawi. .25 minutes remaining. Pyramids really need to find one back as soon as they can, if they can. To really apply the pressure in the final quarter of the game. And avoid having to throw everything forward in desperation in the last 10 minutes. Value does well to get to the byline, but offside flag ends up against the midfielder. We'll have our first substitution of the second half. Indeed we will. We'll have two, both for Pyramids. Off comes Ramadan Sobi. I think off comes Ramadan Sobi. Indeed he does. Stopped temporarily by the fourth official. Also joining him on the sidelines will be Mustafa Fati. He's had the quieter game of the front four. And some fresh legs introduced for a new dynamic in this final quarter of the game, which we have now ticked into. Brought on Ahmed Atef and Abdel Rahman and Magdi. Atef, 21 years of age, turns 22. Rahman and Magdi. Atef, 21 years of age, turns 22 on Thursday. We'd love an early birthday present in shape of a goal here. And Magdi, also Egyptian winger, a little older, 27. It's pretty much a straight swap for both Sobi and Fati. Still not rushing things too much just yet, Pyramids. 20 or so minutes to play with. And Krunoslav Jurčić on the sidelines doesn't look too agitated just yet, as they do take their time. He's a very experienced head coach, 55-year-old, born in what was Yugoslavia, now Bosnia and Herzegovina. Played for Croatia, though, at the international level back in the late 90s, and was part of that team, the first team to produce World Cup heroics from Croatia. Of course, making it to the final in recent years, but back in 1998 in France, finished in third place. knocked out by the hosts and eventual champions. And he played 3 games on that road to third. His side now with a dangerous free kick, which I think found the head of Maele. Mamish briefly getting back to his feet before dropping to the turf once more. The whistle had been blown. Maele staying down. It looked to be a pretty nasty collision. Medics on to check over both players. Hope there's no requirement for the aforementioned pink card. It's into such a threatening area, and indeed, that is a nasty connection. Maele not quite getting to the ball. Mamish did. Punching it clear. Then the temple of Maele into the side of Mamish's head. The former back to his feet now. Mamish, so too, is standing again. Pleased to see both players find to continue their battle. Thoroughly checked over by referee and medics alike. And the young keeper deemed fully fit for the final 20. And there is Jurčić. He's been around the block. It's like his opposite number. Former Saudi Arabia manager. 3 stints with Dinamo Zagreb in his home country, and was assistant to the 2012 Croatia World Cup adventure there, which was managed by Slaven Bilic and then Stimac after him. So away we go again. Mamish sends it all the way to Ali Gaba. Maele seems to be moving just fine. No ill effects from that collision. Up for it again, Ibrahim Adel. Needs to send it in his direction. Joined in that supporting trident behind Maele by the 2 substitutes. I think Regekamp also planning some more substitutions now. Still just the one enforced one in the first half, made by the Romanian. Just behind Ben Hamida. He's done well. Stayed in play, despite the protests of Mohamed Shibi. He was headed away by Sami. Shibi looking almost nonplussed, dumbfounded. He didn't get the throw there. Switching wings. Here's Adel. Mali waiting in the middle, it's over his head. Safety first. From the captain. Not sure who is lurking behind him. Into the final 15 we go. This is far from finished. One goal now could change everything. That corner doesn't beat the first man. Ben Hamida in the way. Belaili has options. Rodriguez making the run ahead of him. Konate was already there. And it's into the middle. Rodriguez unselfish again. And Mokwana. The scream to the heavens as he failed to convert what was probably an easier chance, and the one he put away in first half stoppage time. Did just bounce awkwardly in front of him. That could have been a third and effectively game over. Just a quarter of an hour left to play. Hamza Jalassi down again. Adel coming in with his foot raised. Not thinking much of the reaction from the Esperance centre-back. But another break which will see the clock tick ever closer to the 90-minute mark. Still enjoying it in the stands. Haven't had too much to shout about in the second half. That one big chance there for Mokwana. One of two chances of note, really, for Esperance in the second half. Far smaller number of attempts than they produced in the first 45. This famous old club, over a century old now, founded in 1919. Oldest active football club in Tunisia. Club originally created as an act of resistance against French colonization. Named Esperance after the name of the coffee house where the founders used to meet. Café named Café de l'Espérance. They're still having to resist here, though, against a Pyramids side determined to push on in the latter stages and try and rescue at least a point here. There will now be a couple of changes made by Laurentius Regekamp. Off comes 18-year-old Abdurrahman Konate. Another decent showing from the youngster. And so too, Yusuf Belaili. Never overly enamoured with coming off, but a smile for his manager and an embrace. A job well done. Will the job be similarly well done by the two who come on in place of that pair, Azuni and Masha. Larry Azuni, 30-year-old, born in Marseille, opted to represent Tunisia internationally and has been with Esperance for a while now. And that was a heroic header wide of the target in front of his own goal from Mohamed Shibi, under pressure, a little too close for comfort. It got the job done. Masha, meanwhile, just 17 years old. Acrobatic attempt from Mohamed Tugay. Looking to finish the game off in style. Centre-back, though, in the process, I think perhaps took it away from a better placed teammate behind him. Masha scored in stoppage time after coming on as a late sub on match day 1. He's only played a total of 17 minutes across his 2 previous appearances. He'll get another 10 to add to that tally here, or they get another goal to add to that particular column. Jurčic's frustration grows. He responds with another double change. Off comes Ibrahim Adel. And so too Walid El Kati. And on comes Tawfik. And Karim Hafez. Number 29. Turns 29 in a few months. Generally operates as a left-back, but I'd expect to see him further up the pitch in the final 10 here. Pyramids back on the attack, but Memish out to claim. Some of the Pyramids players growing a little frustrated as Memish, amongst others, takes his time wherever possible. They know they're running out of time. 7 minutes plus stoppage time remain. And at the moment, it's Esperance who look more likely to grab the third of the game. In towards Rodriguez, just curled away from the number 9. Look to the skies as that decision goes against Mohamed Shibi. Final couple of changes to be made by Regekamp. Round of applause from Usam Takar as he comes off, replaced by Zakaria El Ayeb. And last but not least, Makwana, scorer of the game's second goal. I'll see it again here, replaced by Usama Bugera, who scored one of those goals against Jaliba on match day 1, as did Makwana. comes one of the substitutes. Combining down the left. Zuni and Bugera immediately involved. This will suit Esperance just fine. I'd love it to go in, of course, and settle any remaining nerves, but a corner at the right end. Into the final 5. Job is almost done. Just need to keep their heads. Right to the final whistle. Flicked on at the near post. Gelassi and Rodriguez both battling for it. Another corner will please them. As a result, though, whipped into a good area. And just over the top, off the head of Mohamed Tugay. El Shenawi barely knew anything about it. Nonetheless, managed to tip it over his bar. Nearly put the game to bed. This corner taken to the edge to Ben Hamida. Ogbelu sends it floating back into the area, or to the edge of it. El Ayeb out wide to Ben Masha. Pyramids asking, where are the Esperance throw-in takers? The answer is they're coming, not overly quickly. Rodriguez still waiting patiently in the middle. Maybe frustrated not to have got on the score sheet. Of course, happy with a win. Very calmly done there. A little scoop. As Pyramids still tried to play it out from the back. But yes, any number 9 not on the score sheet in a 2-0 win will be, at least secretly, a little frustrated. A man who was Egyptian Premier League joint top scorer last season with 10 goals. Man at the other end, Mayele, the second top scorer in the Egyptian Premier League. Of course, sorry, the Tunisian top flight for Rodrigo Rodriguez. Yes, the second top scorer in Egypt, Fiston Mayele, 17 goals. One off Al Akli's Wessam Abu Ali at the top of those particular scoring charts. Scored one of just 5 hat-tricks in the league during the campaign. 5 assists as well, joint 10th in that chart. Hasn't been able to get involved in any goals here. Not for the lack of trying. He's still on, still giving it his all. I think now it will be too little too late. Less than 90 seconds of the 90 minutes remaining. Yes, we are to have a considerable chunk of stoppage time and some considerable drama. Esperance should claim the 3 points. Ogbelu still full of running. Slightly fresher legs than the starters, but Commendable, strong performance since he replaced Aolu in the first half. Into stoppage time we go. Whipped in towards Maele, 5 minutes will be added on. Hafez flicks it on, still not reaching Maele. That's well struck and not too far away. The effort from Ahmed Atef caught it very nicely on the volley, sat up invitingly. It was only a yard or two wide. That might have changed the complexion of the final 5 minutes. Made things a little less comfortable for those in red and gold. As it is, it's party time in Tunis. They're enjoying the final minutes here. Mohamed Shibi wins the header. Hasn't been able to get forward as much as he'd have liked. The right back, one of the few men with more assists than Fiston Maele last season in the Egyptian Premier League. In fact, the most of anyone, with 9 across the campaign. It's just been the final ball that's been lacking more often than not for the visitors this evening. Still, they don't give up though, Pyramids. Hey, stranger things have happened in football. Can't give up until the final whistle. And the pressure applied on the left-hand side keeps Esperance pinned back. There is Atef. Maele waiting, surrounded by red and yellow clad defenders. A slip from Shibi could prove costly. Gabber over to cover. Here's Rodriguez. Options on the edge. One of them is Okbelu. Keeps it moving. Closed down ultimately by Ahmed Tawfik. Well, they know they've surely done enough now to move to the top of Group D. Usurp Pyramids at the summit. Hanad Lashin brings it forward but can't escape his own half. It's a good tackle from Atef. It's looked decent since coming on. May earn himself a few more minutes, maybe even a start in the return leg in a few weeks' time. It'll be the weekend of the 3rd and 4th of January, 2025, as it will be for match day 4. Just behind Mayele. Mamish will take his time, and the final few seconds in picking up the ball. That is the 5 minutes elapsed. The whistles now in the crowd are for impatience rather than desperation. But they will wait no longer. Final whistle blown. Job done for Esperance.